Josh, what does the $400 for your situation cover?
Can I call you
Well,
at midnight?
can you call me at midnight?
Oh, what the fuck? That sounds like P. Diddy, Mike. What's
Go
up
ahead,
with that?
Josh. Go ahead,
Fuck
Josh.
no. No, so
There you
now
go.
I mean, because I have so many customers, we ask people to use Slack. So you can message me at any time, but it's unrealistic for me to take calls at any time. But that is another thing, too. We're available. I mean, you can get answers. I talk to clients every fucking day. So, we don't put people through a ticketing system or not respond to them on the weekends. You know, the so the $400 a month. I mean, it covers everything. But we, I try
What
to be very reasonable.
what
Hold on.
is
I don't
everything?
mean to cut you off, but this is a good one for you, Josh. Here we go. Abel says, Josh, let me be a guinea pig. I would love to see $40 to $50 leads. Let's do it
What
monthly
market?
check-in and update
Junk
live
removal,
right here.
dumpster
No.
rentals,
What area?
He's down by
Temecula,
Temecula in
California,
California, SoCal,
Southern
Man,
California.
hot
might be
area.
taken already. I got to see.
Okay, so okay, so we'll follow up that with that though, because that would be amazing for
Yeah,
you, brother,
honestly,
if we
I
could
didn't come
do
in
a
here to
live
get
update.
clients, man. I'll be honest with you. I almost turned down 80%. I don't even run ads for junk removal or try to get junk removal. I came on here to be informative, answer some tough questions. Honestly, I don't really have a lot of room. There's only so many major markets in the country. I mean,
Well,
90% of the time.
I'm gonna vouch for Abel. This guy, he's doing it at a large scale. This is one of the top guys out in the country, man. So I think this would be a good move for you, brother, like strategically. And it'd be really cool if
Yeah,
we
but
could kind of do like a up to date and kind of track it and
yeah,
see it.
yeah. Well, I'd love to. I have to check if we have someone in the area though. We don't run ads for more than one company per area, any situation,
How
and
you
we
feel
don't
about
charge more for
Amish
the.
country in Pennsylvania?
Sorry.
Amish country in Pennsylvania? How do you feel like your ads are going to do?
Not good.
Oh man, damn! Because Adam was ready to, I think, buy in, bro. He was ready
Well,
to
where's
try out.
Amish? What counties? What counties is
He's in
Amish country?
Lebanon, right?
Or am I not gonna have any fucking clue?
Cute.
So,
I'm right next
so
to
here's one of.
Lancaster County. We
I have
got
to
the
look at a map.
horses running that down the street every day here.
So, well, here. So this is one of the things that I was when I opened up with. I said that I kind of tend to babble a little bit and go off track. I apologize, but no, none of the marketers want to talk about the drawbacks. Okay, and one of the drawbacks of Google Ads is it is solely dependent on search volume. A lot of marketers love to live in a world where they say, show up at the top of Google. We'll get you, grow your business. And anytime someone looks for dumpster rental near me, your ad's going to show up. What fucking good does that do if there's only 500 searches a month? I mean, let's just do the math. If I were to look in your county, I have no idea. I want to be clear. I'm not looking at a computer. I want to be clear. Let's say we wanted to advertise for junk removal. We pull a search for Lancaster County or wherever it is, whatever counties you serve. And we see that there's, let's say, 700 searches a month. Let's do 800. It's even. It's gonna be easier for me to do off the top of my head. We get a good click-through rate on our ads, a 10% click-through rate, which is not stellar, but it's not terrible. It's good. 10% click-through rate. That's gonna bring us to 80 clicks. A 25% conversion rate, which is good but not stellar. That's going to bring us to 20 calls a month. If you close half of your calls, you're gonna get 10 jobs a month. That is not gonna get you a second truck. So when I say that I don't think it would be good results. I think a lot of the time people like turn to Google Ads. I feel like they're hoping like, well, if we invest a bunch of money with Google, we're going to be able to get a second truck. We're going to be doing 3 to 4 jobs a day, right? And a lot of times that's just not a reality. Most of the time, Google's going to be a tool in your toolkit. See, every company has a certain amount of leads they need to get based on your book rate. And a lot of times, especially in a rural market, Google Ads alone, even with a website, right? Like we're talking Google in general, not even just ads. If there's limited search volume in your area, there's going to be a limited number of leads that you can realistically get. If there's 800 searches a month, you are not going to get 10 calls a day from Google. It's not possible. It doesn't matter how much you're willing to pay me. It doesn't matter how much you're willing to spend on ads. You're going to be limited by search volume. Now, sometimes in a rural market, because there's less competition, you can get a significantly higher click-through rate. So my numbers could be off a little bit, right? If you get a 15% click-through rate boom, that's going to fluctuate the numbers. A lot of times in a more rural market, the cost per click is going to be significantly lower due to lack of competition. So higher click-through rate, sometimes we can get a higher conversion rate since there's less options in the area. So of course that can all influence it. So I'm not saying you're stuck to only getting XYZ leads per month, but that is an honest reality that not a lot of people talk about. Search volume is, even guys who sell websites and SEO and stuff. I mean,
Well,
I
Josh,
couldn't
I just
sleep
want to
in-
let you know, bro, you are picking up so many people here. So we have Phoenix, Arizona, also John Aguirre over there. He's down to do the experiment over there.
Yeah, I've
And we'll
talked to John
report him.
before. I'd be happy to work with him. I think he messaged me and we just disconnected somewhere.
Boom,
Happy to
John.
talk with
So John, if you could connect with him and then, you know, we could kind of like, you know, document this and all, that would be an amazing thing for everybody, especially like myself. I'm trying to learn this.
Josh, is Phoenix a hot market?
Yeah, I think it's a good market. It's expensive. It's going to be more expensive. And I only say this because I have worked in the market prior with the junk removal company. And at the time, I don't want to guarantee any specific numbers, but I know that we had a long-standing account in Phoenix, and they would go to Mesa, and we were getting leads for sub $40, $35 leads.
Wow.
Nice.
Do you work with anyone in Massachusetts? Sean wants to know.
All over the place, man. So like some cities are just going to ring a bell and be like, yeah, I'm there. But sometimes I have to check. So
Okay,
it's
because
just-
that might be what I think the reason why he's asking is I think all these guys want to try you out, man. So
Sure.
you know, definitely hit them up and let them know. So where can people get in touch with you and, you know, reach out to you?
Yeah. So my website is under construction. I'm like rebuilding it right now, so it looks like crap. But you can go to my website. You can check it out. You can book a call with me on there. But you know, there's a lot of filler text and stuff. We're working on the homepage, working on making our blogs like easier to read. But that's something that people should check out. I do have some blog posts on there that are just free content. They're helpful. Or you could just go on my Facebook page. It's Josh Hollinsworth with a check mark. That's my business page. Or you can just message me personally on Facebook. That's how most people reach me, I would say.
Very cool.
You can go to my website. Just keep in mind it's under construction. So.
Well, it's now time to get to the elephant in the room, man. And that is, let's address the whole mess going on in the industry with the junk removal fugitive, Bernie Madoff of junk removal. It seems like Matt Fitch, where in the world are you, bro? Tap in, hit somebody up, answer back. So, guys, I just seeing just craziness everywhere. Everybody's looking for Matt, and you know, I'm hearing all these crazy stories. And you know, as the days go by, the posts are getting more aggressive, and people are really, really starting to get mad. A lot of people didn't realize that he's been MIA for the last 3 months because I guess they haven't checked in, but their bill is definitely showing they've been getting billed every month from him. So, what is going on, guys? In the chat, let us know. I know a lot of people are involved with it. I believe Sean is in the house. Sean is one of the guys that I think really got duped pretty well. And I think I got a couple of comments. I think I took a few screenshots. So I kind of want to touch on this and everything. And
When
I
you
feel
look
like
those up, why don't you look up your comments? I was just going to
Yeah.
say quickly, I haven't been following Matt for, I don't know, a year because he booted me out of whatever group he was owning or whatever, and then blocked me just because I simply like told some people they really didn't have to pay $200 a day or whatever he was claiming on the posts. And it was just like, you couldn't have any banter back and forth. It was just immediate ban, block, gone. And then I reached out to another admin in the group who got me back in, and literally he found out somehow, even though he had me blocked, and got me booted again. So I know nothing about Fitch other than he's something that rhymes with his last name. Continue.
So we got one of the posts was from Sean Chavez, which he's in the chat right now. He says over 10K invested. And let me just read this out so we kind of got some context behind all this madness. He says, if you've been paying Matt Fitch, guess what? You're fucked. Call your banks and dispute these charges. My accountant is already on it. This guy has done shit the last 3 months except charge me $950 for absolutely nothing at all. No update drops, subscriptions with no notice. He knew he was done with SEO and still charges the card a few days ago. fucking desperate piece of shit. Those of you that are showing compassion, you don't steal someone's money and not deliver. And then I think this was the answer back that he got. I don't know when this was, but it's from Matt's account and says, I'm sorry, I thought you were asking for a refund of the hosting services. You're only paying $250 a year for web hosting now, and your $950 marketing plan was canceled when you requested it. I just resent your website login credentials to you, or anyone else can manage the site moving forward. Your own domain and have administration access to your website so you can switch hosting providers if you choose to. We can't refund for previous months SEO services that have already been billed. So that's what seems to be going on. And what I'm taking from this is that, you know, he has like the passwords and controls, like owns their websites. You know what I mean? And, you know, when I got my website done, you know, I was told, you know, you own your website, and, you know, that was clear. And I was like, why are you making this clear? Because obviously a lot of people are just selling where they run your website, so you don't actually own it. So if you have a situation like this, you know, now you got your hands full and everything. It's pretty crazy situation, man. But has anybody found where he is, or got any kind of answer, or does anybody know anything on here? Mr. Yee, have you heard anything about it? Or
I touched, I had a bunch of people messaging me, and I touched base with the very good guy, and you don't know what this guy's going through: death, relapse, divorce. You just never know. He may just want to just have some time to himself. So, of course, it's the very hot topic right now of junk removal of another, guru. But you just don't know. And if he did go MIA, you know what I mean? Hey, I hope he went to Thailand. You know what I mean? And living that life with that money, and go to Thailand and live your life and have fun. You know what I'm talking about?
Fuck no. You're giving this guy an easy out. There's no excuse for charging people if you're not doing the work.
yeah, I'm kind of
None.
with Josh on
None at
this
all.
one, man.
I
There's
have
a proper way to handle
on
that.
record, dude. I have refund. There's nobody that can come forward and say that I charge them. You know, it's not excusable. I don't know Matt Fitch personally. I know that I'm not a fan of a lot of things he said, but that's not excusable. If you're gonna stop, a lot of guys do turn to marketing and they stop. It's not easy, right? Just like running a junk removal business is way harder than everybody makes it out to be. Marketing is the same way, dude. Every business is like that. There's gonna be things you don't learn until you start doing it. So that's not an excuse. You have a death in your family or whatever. If you're gonna stop working on people's websites, you fucking stop charging them. I mean,
And what's
I
up with
think
the
it's
whole AI slapping now? Because I know he had that whole AI, and I know people were buying that. I think it was like a monthly membership, and I was part of that because with the Junk Expo, when I bought my tickets, that's part of it. I think you get a free trial with the slap AI. So I kind of was like excited about that, and I'm like, kind of waiting, to try that out because I've been big fan of AI and all. And
what does it do? I don't
it's
know.
made for junk removal. Matt made this, and it was, I don't know how it's made for it, but they were saying that it's, made for junk removal, and it's going to make our life a lot easier. And also, I was really, really looking forward to trying this out. So I hope that that's still happening, and that Matt's going to do the right thing.
Is it like a chat widget or something?
I think it's like ChatGPT made just for junk removal. So I guess he puts in all the whatever the codes and all that to make it do different things. I don't know, bro, because I haven't tried it yet, but that's why I want to try it. Just like you want to get into it and like see it with this new toy that there is and all.
Yeah.
The other thing is, it's a lot of people are getting mad and all that because, him being like one of the guys at the gurus, see, this is why, Josh, I didn't mean to come at you in any kind of way or whatever, but there's a lot of things that are just rubbing people wrong in junk removal. And I'm going to kind of just be the guy that's going to come out and say it, man, because, what's been going on is a lot of people, are selling services. And it comes like the in crowd, the click, you know what I mean? And once you're in the click, now you're kind of like friends with everybody. So now when there's something that doesn't work, just keep your mouth shut. But you just kind of keep your mouth shut because you don't want to get somebody that's in the in crowd mad. And I've kind of fucking got into it a couple of times, you know, I've said some things, you know, because I'm honest. I'm going to stay straight up. I'm not here with no kickbacks. I'm not taking anybody's money on the side to say that your shit's good, because there's nothing that you could pay me that's going to make me lie. You know, I'm a straight up dude and all that. And I'm not going to lie for a little kickback, but a lot of people seem to be cool with that. So what's going on now is these services and these people that are coming off as gurus, you come into an industry, you're taught to go learn from the best that are doing successful. So me being one of those guys, I start listening to all these gurus, and you just assume because, you know, they're put on a pedestal, they were a junk expo speaker, they're the guy that everybody goes to and all. He knows what he's talking about, and you're going to follow his way. Well, I've got it where I followed their way and it was wrong, and I paid lots of money to learn, and then I've said things saying that this is wrong, and you know, the other in crowd starts looking at you sideways, and now they have a problem that you have a problem because you're telling the truth. And that's where I'm not cool with this. And everybody in junk removal is scared to step on somebody's toes because that could happen. Well, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not doing that. That's why I did this show. If I'm going to offend people, well, you know, it cost me thousands of dollars because I took that advice, and it was stupid ass advice. You know what I mean? So I'm like sick of it. So that's kind of why people are getting this way with a lot of the people that are called gurus now and everything. And that's why you're kind of like, Josh, you were just coming on just to come on, and it just happened to be at this time that's going on. So now everybody's being questioned that's a speaker or a guru in you know, the industry. You know, what is your guys' thoughts? I want to hear Adam. What is your thoughts on this whole thing? Because I haven't really heard much from you on the whole thing.
I know I felt like a mime for a while here, I'll be honest. But I mean, I don't really know. I try not to speak on things I don't know a lot about. You know what I mean? And I think going back to like giving like him an out for this, okay? Like I've lived by this credo the entire time I've been open, and it's always been great. Is that nobody's perfect, okay? But what I like to do is that if I fuck up, I like to make it right that good that even if that person is like bitching to their sibling about it, they're like, oh my God, well then what did you do? And then they say what I did. They're like, you better not ever speak ill about that motherfucker again. You know what I mean? Like, so like him bailing on everybody is just inexcusable because he's been billing them and hasn't been doing it. But yeah, man, I just don't get it, honestly.
Well,
And
Carson wants to know. He asked, I mean, what are some examples of who ripped you off, Paul? So it wasn't somebody that actually like ripped me off or whatever. What was told was I was following the ways of, you know, what people were saying. So one of my questions was, should I get tracking numbers, individual on my truck? Should I get one for yard signs, a different one for my truck, a different one for every piece of marketing? And I was told, yes, 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 best thing, smartest thing to do and everything. Go and do all that, get my truck wrapped, different number on and everything. Well, I had this phone call with Google, and I think they were like trying to market to me or whatever. And they brought it up. They're like, yo, you have different numbers everywhere. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I got the tracking numbers. And I was all proud to say this, like, you know, I figured shit out and everything. Well, they're like, well, bro, you're confusing Google majorly. Like, you're going to get your ranking knocked down because now you have different info everywhere. And that's pretty much basics. So now to go get everything right, I had to go and pay a directory that went all around to every friggin' listing that I ever had out there, because I'm putting them all over the place, but now they're all different. And I had to make sure that they were all made right. So, and that's taught from everybody. Here's another example. Yard signs. Everybody's like, yo, go put out yard signs. Best thing you could do. You know, everybody loves yard. You're going to make so much money with it. So, you know, first couple of weeks, I put out 100 yard signs. I get a phone call, sheriff in the area. Yo, it's against the law, buddy. You can't be doing this. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is the worst way to come into a town to start business. And now you're like, you know, you're getting the sheriff the phone call and everything. And I'm like, bro, like, you know, what am I getting taught here and everything? And then, you know, I said this and everything, and everybody's kind of like dismissed me. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, well, they work for the most part. No, this is not the way to do things, man. And sometimes what I think is going on now that I'm thinking about, I think people are getting kickbacks on yard signs. you know, because there is. And I think people are selling that service also. So it's not, go get yard signs. They work 100% all the time, man. Go put them out everywhere.
Okay, can I jump in here for a second?
Yeah. What's up,
So my opinion with that, because here's the thing, and this is one of the cool things. Like, this is what I meant when I said I've learned more helping other companies than I ever could have for myself. I have customers that knock it out of the fucking park with yard signs, but they are illegal almost everywhere. So I feel like a lot of people give advice that on things that have worked for them, but it's not going to work that way for everybody. It's illegal pretty much everywhere. But I have a couple clients, specifically California. These guys will put a tracking number, they'll put a burner number on their yard sign, and they'll
I got that too, bro. But the problem is with that is now the sheriff is still calling those tracking, and you're saying your name when you answer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're taking that risk, but I do think they work for a lot of people. They work. I mean, but you
it's
are
not.
taking a risk.
It's not an ethical thing when you're trying to do the right thing and be a business that's part of the community and trying to help out. And now you're going breaking the law and you're putting up these yard signs when you're not supposed to. And if you keep doing it, I mean, you're just, you know, people are not going to look highly on it. And this is what's taught so much. You know what I mean? I think if you're going to teach that, you better tell them also that it is illegal. And if it is, don't be doing that shit. It's not going to help you. You know, but I think my personal thoughts is there's kickbacks going on. I think these marketing places are hitting up all the big gurus and they're getting a kickback for how many yard signs. Yo, use my code, bro. You get a code. You get it there. So that's their little kickback and they'll tell you anything, man. You know what I mean? And I'm sick of it and I'm pissed at it. And, you know, I came at one of the YouTube guys, but I'm here to learn. I'm not here with no motives. I'm not trying to make $5 kickbacks here. I'm trying to get truth so we can make millions of dollars, big business, not trying to sell people on fake shit just because I'm going to get a $5 kickback and I'm going to tell you that it works. We need to stop that, guys. We really do. We make enough money in junk removal to tell the truth. Be honest with people. You don't need to lie. You know what I mean? Let's find the truth, what really works. What do we really need to spend on? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what this show is for, to get the truth. And, you know, you can be truthful here. And, you know, a lot of people just don't want to say the truth, or they're just, you know, afraid to admit it. And, you know, that's just it, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of.
Let me give another example. Now that I'm fun. I'm feeling spicy right now, man.
There you go. There you go.
So another guy that was in there that was, you know, the guru and everything was Ivan, the dude Ivan from Sacramento and everything. And, you know, everybody was following him. And, you know, and then one day I just remember Ricky putting him out on blast, bro, and being like, yo, what the hell, man? You know, this dude is saying, do this, do this, do this. And then Ivan goes and puts out this video of like breaking down in his car, like practically crying, saying everything he's been doing doesn't work. He can't afford to keep doing it this way. And I'm just sitting there listening like, oh my God, bro, you are the guy that's been teaching everybody. You're at the expo, you're a speaker, you're making every video every day of saying, want to make this much money, we're going to do this. And then you just had a breakdown and you got on video and Ricky pointed this out and I couldn't believe it. And he's like, everything that you were teaching, you were saying how it wasn't working for you. And you were having like a meltdown. And I actually hit him up that day and I was like, yo, bro, I would take that down, bro. That's not that smart. I mean, you're a speaker. I was following this dude before then, like, oh shit, taking notes, like, you know, this is somebody I should follow and everything. And then when I saw this breakdown in the car, I'm like, oh my God, bro, what am I following here right now? This guy's like emotional wreck right here. And he's out of junk removal now. He's not even in it.
And it's going to be clear, he's out of marketing too.
So, you know what I mean? Like, guys, we got to be careful of who we're putting up on this platform. We got to be careful of who we're just giving our money to. You could really put yourself in a bad situation. And it's, you know, I'm putting myself in my shoes. When I came into this, I was the guy that would just throw money at everything and think that's the way to go. Well, I learned real quick in junk removal, everybody's trying to get in your pocket. So I just held on to my money. I'm like, yo, I'm not paying for anything because I don't know what's real, what's not. But everybody keeps trying to tell me they know the answer and get in my pocket. So I just was like, dude, I can't be like my normal self and just throw money at this and figure it out like that. You know, and I think a lot of people come into junk removal and they're getting fooled. You know, they're getting people telling them that aren't, who they're supposed to be, like, or claim to be. These gurus, man. And it's really, Denise Sparks said it to me today in one of the groups. She's like, I was kind of worried about you for a while, and I was like, yo, Denise, I was drinking the Kool-Aid and didn't even know I was drinking the Kool-Aid. It ain't happening no more now I'm second questioning everybody that came out. That's why I came at you, Josh. That's why I said what I said today, because I'm thinking in my head as you're telling me all this.
That's the problem. Everybody that you're mentioning is somebody that said, we did this with our junk removal. You guys, people buy into that. See,
but hold on. I just want to make this one last point, Josh. I just want to make this one point of why I came at you today. So when you're telling me this, I'm thinking in my head, like, I'm like, my mind is speaking and it's going, yo, why is this guy teaching? He's pretty brand new and everything. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to say it. And then I realized, yo, I'm on my damn Unfiltered show, the show that I'm trying to make real. And I'm not being real with myself right now. Yo, bro, what's up, Josh? I got to call you out right now, buddy. And that's why, I did what I did, bro,
Yeah, but see, you made me out to be this guy that's teaching everybody. I didn't do that. I never.
No. I didn't make you out to be the guy to teach it. I was just saying
all these guys that are.
But Josh, let me just put you in my shoes, bro, so I understand, because you're close to where I am, bro. I'm at that green point where I'm only 6 months in junk removal, so I feel like if I would have went another 6, hold on, hear me out, bro. Hear me out, dog. If I would have did another 6 months and would be in 1 year, and then I decide, all right, bro, I figured this out. I'm going to go and start teaching people, but I haven't actually made money in junk removal yet, because I only made 40 grand out of the 240 that I brought in and everything. But I feel confident enough, because I got burnt 5 times before this with other marketing, that I figured out, what I need to do, and I could start teaching other people. So I'm just saying in my head, like, how am I qualified to be that guy? You know what I mean? That's what all I was trying to say with that.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't teach anybody anything. I'm
No,
not
you
trying to
take
be.
your money
I don't have a
and
YouTube. I don't have a YouTube channel. I mean, if I was just out to get people's money, I wouldn't offer free trials. There wouldn't be people that are, that's my problem with what you guys are saying, because you're making fun of all these gurus that you listen to, and they really were fucking frauds. But then the first thing you do is you accuse me of not knowing how, making all kind of assumptions, saying that you're new at this. Your junk removal business, you only did it for like a year. But that's what's funny, is that all the guys you guys are making fun of were the guys that sold you on a dream and made it out to be fucking amazing.
Well, what I usually do, bro, I just so you understand, when I go into different industries, man, and this is the newest one. I've been in the hip hop industry, and when filed the top record labels, got locked in with one of them, and went against Live Nation, used to sign the rappers checks and everything. So what I've learned, bro, is you learn from the top in any industry you get, because those are the guys that are doing it successful, and they have a track record that you could see. So like the guy that I teamed up with, bro, he was worth $150 million. You see it. You see how he lives. You see the different houses he has, the cars, the everything, bro. So you understand this guy has made success. So when I come into an industry, I'm looking for the little details. I'm not listening to what they say, because everybody, if you listen to them, they're a superstar in their head. But it's the little details that tell me if they're telling the truth or not. How are they living, the different things they have, so that's when I come in, I'm sizing everybody up with that now. And in junk removal, it's the same thing. If you're being so successful and, you had the successful junk removal business and you sold it within a year or two, that's weird to me, first off, that you did that, because if it was that successful, I would think you would keep that cash pot going, and then keep going open the marketing to go with that. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say, man. You would see somebody's success and be like, it makes sense. That's why I would learn from this guy. This guy's got, $1 million junk removal business going on. Makes sense, right?
I get it, but I've never claimed it. That's what I'm saying. You can't find anything anywhere of me claiming that I did.
No, it's not. No, I didn't say claiming any. I wasn't even like making it personal to you. I'm just giving an example of what I would do when I go into an industry of how I find the guys that you should follow. And the reason why I'm really harping on this and keep saying this is so that the people in the chat, you know, start doing the same thing. They don't just assume because somebody says they're this person or they speak on a stage that that person you should trust, and you should definitely be like, oh, well, they're successful in it. Look
I couldn't
more
agree
into the
with you more.
details, you know.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Exactly, man.
I've run ads for a couple large YouTube channels. I definitely am not going to say names, but I've worked with a couple of them. I've seen some stuff. A lot of these guys are blowing smoke. I mean, they're just not selling what's real. But unfortunately, that's because, you know, people, whether you think it or not, or you can admit it or not, people listen to what they want to hear. They don't want to listen to what they don't want to hear. And that's why these guys are so successful. Matt Fitch, I mean, so many guys are like, oh, I love this guy. Yeah, let's give this guy our money. He's really full of shit the whole time, but he positions himself as somebody that, you know, does this, and his business is crazy. And, you know, those are the guys people want to listen to.
Yeah. I think there's a lot. I think Matt's just getting the brute of it this week, but I think there's a lot of guys that are doing that in this industry, man. I really do. And I think a lot of people are starting to getting a little mad, and they're starting to like hold them out on it and everything. And, you know, because I see every day you see somebody else, a new coach out there, or, you know, something. And then, you know, like I said, you know, people aren't giving these people the results, and, you know, it comes out a couple of months later, and then you always hear the horror stories. Oh, I was paying them so-and-so for this much time. I spent $20,000 with them, but I didn't get no results. And then like when I'm hearing these numbers, and I'm just like, I didn't know it was this much money that people are going and putting into this. When I'm seeing, you know, Steve saying 10,000 that, you know, Matt's taken from somebody else's 20,000, you're just like, oh my God, bro. Like, that is just crazy, man. Like,